If a man truly understood the weight of silence, he would guard his inner world as fiercely as a kingdom at war. For peace of mind does not come from what you own, what you show, or what others believe about you. It comes from what remains unseen, untouched, and unspoken. There is a sacredness in keeping parts of yourself hidden from the noise of the world. Those quiet, unshared truths become your fortress, your sanctuary. The ancients knew this. Marcus Aurelius, sitting alone beneath the flickering lamplight of the Roman night, wrote not for others, but for himself. His meditations were private, a dialogue between his reason and his soul. He understood that once you expose your inner workings to the world, you invite judgment, projection, and envy. The Stoic keeps some truths close, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. There are things that lose their power when spoken too soon, dreams that die in the air of others' opinions. You've felt this, haven't you? The moment you share something sacred, a goal, a revelation, a healing, and watch it wither under another's gaze. It's not malice that kills it, it's exposure. Every unformed thought, every fragile beginning, needs silence to take root. The modern world tempts you to share everything, to post your emotions, to broadcast your triumphs, to narrate your pain as though silence were an enemy. But peace is born in restraint. There's strength in walking among people who have no idea what you're building, no clue what you've endured, no access to the storms you've survived. The Stoic man or woman moves quietly through the crowd, not as an actor seeking applause, but as a guardian of inner order. What you protect privately defines you more than what you reveal publicly. A person who can hold their own counsel, who can sit with their thoughts without seeking validation, carries a power the world cannot easily shake. Jung called it individuation, the process of becoming whole, of uniting the conscious and unconscious into a self that needs no audience. It is not isolation, it is sovereignty. There's a moment, subtle yet profound, when you begin to notice how much peace you lose every time you explain yourself. When you start to understand that not everyone deserves access to your reasoning, your pain, or your plans. Some people seek knowledge not to understand, but to control. The wise do not argue with such minds. They simply withhold. You might think, withholding truth makes you cold. But Stoicism teaches otherwise. It makes you clear. When you no longer feel compelled to justify your silence, you have entered mastery. The emotional noise of others, their judgments, their expectations, their subtle manipulations, can no longer sway you. You are no longer living as a reaction to others' perceptions, but as a response to your own values. Peace of mind, then, is not a passive state, but an active discipline. It's the ability to remain inwardly still, even as the world demands your performance. To smile without revealing the reason, to withdraw without resentment, to love without attachment to outcome. Every human being longs for recognition, but the Stoic recognizes the danger in this hunger. Once your self-worth depends on being seen, you've surrendered your freedom. You become a reflection, not a reality. But when your validation flows from within, from your silent communion with reason and purpose, the opinions of others dissolve into irrelevance. And so, the first thing you must keep private is your inner life, your thoughts, your doubts, your sacred plans. Not because they are weak, but because they are still forming, still fragile, still growing their armor. Share them too early, and the world will shape them for you. Protect them, and they will shape you. There is beauty in being unreadable, in walking through life with quiet certainty, unshaken by misunderstanding. The more you grow, the less you'll need to explain. The more you understand, the less you'll crave acknowledgement. In time, you will see that the truest peace does not come from others understanding you. It comes from no longer needing them to. There is another thing that must remain hidden, not from the world alone, but from your own impulsive need to declare it, your emotional wounds. Modern psychology calls it shadow work, yet the Stoics knew it centuries ago. Epictetus taught that pain is not evil in itself, but the judgment we attach to it is. When you constantly voice your wounds, when you allow every bruise of the spirit to become a performance for sympathy, you give away your power. You see, unhealed pain loves attention. It feeds on it. But when you tend to it in silence, you alchemize it into wisdom. The one who can suffer quietly, reflect deeply, and rise without witnesses becomes untouchable. There is a quiet kind of nobility in facing your storms without turning them into a spectacle. Silence, in this sense, is not suppression. It's sanctity. It's the temple where healing takes place without the interference of other people's projections. Every time you confess your struggle to those who cannot comprehend its depth, you dilute it. You let others name your suffering before you've understood it yourself. And so, the Stoic learns to hold his pain gently, to listen to it without broadcasting it, until it transforms from agony into clarity. There's a story told in every era. A person climbs from ruin to rebirth, but no one knows how they did it. They vanish for a season, retreating into themselves, and return radiant, serene, detached. That is the power of privacy. It grants you a sacred metamorphosis unseen by the crowd. The butterfly never explains its cocoon. You too must learn to disappear when life demands it, to vanish from the noise, to stop explaining your evolution to those content with standing still. Your solitude is not loneliness, it's gestation. Every great transformation begins in the dark, far from applause. When you learn to be alone with your suffering, you begin to command it. When you stop announcing your plans for peace, you start embodying it. The third thing to keep private is your acts of kindness. There is quiet corruption in seeking recognition for goodness. When you help others and immediately share it, the ego steals the soul's credit. Seneca once said that the reward of a good deed is the act itself, not the praise that follows. The Stoic does not need the world to witness his virtue. He needs only his conscience to confirm it. Modern culture teaches the opposite. It tells you to document generosity, to measure compassion in likes and followers. Yet every time you broadcast goodness, you cheapen it. The truest kindness is invisible. It needs no stage, no witness. It flows naturally from a balanced heart, and because it seeks nothing in return, it multiplies peace within. You can sense this truth in those rare individuals whose presence calms rather than impresses. They carry no slogans of virtue, no boasts of moral high ground. Their peace speaks louder than any post. They have learned what Jung called integration of the shadow, to do good without the need to appear good. So, when you give quietly. When you forgive, do it privately. When you love, let it be sacred. Every time you resist the urge to seek recognition, you reclaim energy that once belonged to vanity. You draw closer to the still center of your being, where serenity is born. And then there's another secret, your ambitions. Do not speak them before they have roots. To share your vision too early is to expose it to the winds of other people's fears and doubts. Many dreams die not from failure, but from premature exposure. Every artist, every philosopher, every visionary has known this, that the deepest work requires a period of quiet incubation. When you speak of your future before it is solid, you unconsciously release the energy meant to build it. You receive the illusion of accomplishment through others' admiration, and your hunger weakens. Keep your ambitions hidden until they become self-sustaining flames. Then, when you act, the world will see only the fire, never the spark that began it. Peace of mind thrives in this discipline, to live unseen, to grow in silence, to rise without announcement. The fifth thing one must keep private is the depth of one's inner conflicts, those invisible wars that rage beneath the calm surface of daily life. Everyone carries them, but the wise know that exposing them too freely allows others to weaponize them. Your struggles, once spoken into the wrong ears, become stories for others to interpret, dissect, and repeat. The Stoic does not hide his battles out of shame. He guards them because he understands their sacred role in transformation. Marcus Aurelius fought unseen wars against despair, doubt, and weariness. He never paraded them. He transmuted them into virtue. The Stoic path is not the absence of conflict, but the mastery of it. To face your inner turmoil with composure is to discover a peace that no one else can give or take away. When your chaos no longer demands witnesses, it begins to obey you. It is in the quiet wrestling of the soul that clarity is born. You learn that strength is not the absence of emotion, but the governance of it. The modern world misunderstands this and glorifies confession as courage. But confession without reflection becomes self-betrayal. There is power in naming your demons, but there is greater power in taming them silently. The next thing to protect is your love life, not because love should be hidden, but because it flourishes in the privacy of trust. When two souls connect deeply, their bond is a sacred flame, not meant to be held up for display. The more you expose it to the winds of public opinion, the weaker it becomes. Love demands intimacy, and intimacy dies in exposure. In the age of endless sharing, the most rebellious act is to cherish something quietly. To walk beside someone and not broadcast it. To love without validation. To protect your bond from those who envy what they cannot comprehend. The Stoic understands that love is not a possession, not a status, but a shared discipline, a daily act of choosing peace over pride. In Jungian terms, this is the dance of the anima and animus, the sacred meeting of the masculine and feminine within and between. To make it public before it matures is to distort it with the ego's hunger for acknowledgement. Love thrives not in display, but in devotion, not in proving, but in preserving. And then, there is the seventh and most subtle thing to keep private, your spiritual growth. The world loves to debate the divine, to argue enlightenment, to turn awakening into performance. But the Stoic, like the mystic, knows that the moment you declare your enlightenment, you lose it. Growth is not an announcement. It is a quiet unfolding. There are levels of peace that cannot be described without being diminished. There are moments of stillness too sacred for language. When your mind begins to rest in truth, when your desires begin to soften, when your ego ceases to fight for attention, you will feel an urge to share. Resist it. Let your silence testify instead. The more deeply you awaken, the less you need to be understood. The more you understand, the less you try to convince. The spiritual man walks through chaos untouched, not because he is blind to suffering, but because he has learned that peace is not found in escape. It is found in acceptance. To keep your peace, then, is to guard the mystery of your becoming. To let the world see your calm, but never your compass. To move through life as a river does, flowing, silent, unstoppable. When the world demands to know who you are, smile and say nothing. When they ask what drives you, let your actions whisper the answer. When they test your calm, let your stillness disarm them. For the Stoic, the greatest luxury is not wealth or fame, but privacy of the soul. To live untouched by the chaos of others. To hold within the serenity that no one can buy, imitate, or destroy. And in that stillness, you will find yourself reborn, not as the person the world expects, but as the being you were always meant to become. The one who speaks little, but moves mountains. The one who gives without needing applause. The one who understands that silence is not emptiness. It is strength contained.